Welcome, everybody, again to the Average African Kid podcast. And I know you might be wondering, Toyo, where you did since now? What has been happening? Where have you been? Well, I have been doing a lot of thinking. I've been doing a lot of planning for the future. And basically, I am trying to prepare to make sure that I can do this show long term, as well as push on with other areas of my life too. So that has been my trajectory for the past few months. And yeah, this is the result. So let's get into today's episode. Maybe I can. Yeah. So yeah, welcome into the show, guys. I'm glad you like it. Don't mind me. I'm actually not using my regular setup right now. So if I was, you'd hear our regular thing. But right now, I'm actually using an iPad Pro to do the recordings because I'm on the road actually, and that's what today's episode is about. It's about traveling. As you might know, I have lived all my life in Warri, Delta State. Warri. And I grew up in Warri. I was born in Warri. I was raised in Warri. I did primary and secondary school in Warri. It was when I went to university that I went to San Antonio, Texas, for my bachelor's degree in biology with a concentration in neurobiology. So that has been my trajectory. And when I came back to Nigeria in 2020, I moved back home to Nigeria, to Warri rather, in Nigeria. And yeah, whenever I get the chance to travel to a different city, it has always been and it's always an educational experience for me because I love learning new things and I love seeing how things work in different parts of the world. And Portharcourt is no exception because Portharcourt is like miles away from Warri, not just in distance but in culture. Now, when I just talk about the first thing I notice immediately is the roads. Like Portharcourt is like a well-oiled machine. I know you might be like, are we talking about the same place? But come on, compare it to Warri, and you see that Portharcourt has quite a few roads, quite a few flyovers and bridges. If you've never been to Portharcourt before, or you like into like Lagos is an overpopulated version of Portharcourt. Portharcourt has infrastructure. They have fine roads and places. Basically, I think Lagos, Portharcourt, and Abuja are those cities that are really hiving up there in terms of infrastructure, like roads and stuff. You might be thinking I'm wrong. You might know better than me. But again, I learn every day. And if you have anything to tell me, you feel free to tell me in the comments. And then I learn and we both learn and everything goes better. Okay? So what I noticed straight away was the roads were really good. Compared to Warri, the flyovers and everything. And I can't really speak too much about the culture of the people because I actually took a different trip, okay? So I came over to Bonny Island, and I'll talk about that in another episode because it's a different experience entirely. But what I want to share is that in Portharcourt, I have been here before. 1 year ago, I came here. But things are not the same. The pace of life is not the same. And I think that the city you live in kind of determines how your life plays out in a way. Because think about it. If you live like, let me use something extreme like New York City. If you live in New York City, you're in a high-paced environment where everything goes by so fast. Things are high-paced all over the time. If you're in California, it's kind of high-paced, but it's also kind of chill. You have movie premieres too. It's California. It depends on what part of California you're into for that aspect. Now, if you move somewhere like Dallas, you know there's a vibe in Dallas. If you go to Houston, it's hustling and busting just like Lagos. If you go to San Antonio, now that's a quiet atmosphere. And another place that's actually quite nice is New Orleans. If you go to New Orleans, there's a different vibe there. And you are like, Tori, I've never been to any of these places. Okay, let me try something else. Let's say you go to Lokoja or Lagos and Abuja. Every city is different. They all have their different vibes. And where you live determines how you're going to exist. Like, for example, Warri now is known as a rough place, right? But actually, Warri is quite calm when it comes to city life compared to Lagos and Portharcourt and Abuja. I mean, there's still traffic in Warri, but since the oil guys, Shell and all those guys have left, Chevron are leaving and everything, Warri has taken a different light, not in terms of always for the best, but Warri is a lot more, I guess it's a lot less in terms of population. So there's not that much traffic in most areas, except you are in somewhere that like the refinery side or DSC sides. So, or in an area where there's road construction, there's some traffic there. So Warri is a different city entirely. I think of Warri as a place where I can actually rest, which some people are finding weird, right? They're like, Warri is not a place to rest. What are you talking about? Warri for me is like a very calm place. And another place I can say is a bit calm. I know you might not agree with me, but like, are you crazy? But I'm going to say the north is actually kind of calm. Not just the north. Let me be specific, because I went to Gombe and Bauchi, and I think Gombe is kind of calm in terms of the areas I stayed in, if that makes any sense. So, Port Harcourt, I see it as a place where you can make a lot of money, you can grow, you can build for the future. Maybe like a young family starting up, you can start life off in Port Harcourt. Warri is like a place where you already have the connections on ground. Maybe more like a retirement place where you already built things up for the future, and you settle down in Warri, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is my base. This is my home, my headquarters, where I start and grow things, and everything moves like that. So, I want to encourage you to, if you have the peace about traveling, some time to take a trip, whether it's 30 minutes from where you live, an hour, or even a whole continent away. It's good to take trips. It makes you see the world from different perspectives. Literally, I can give you a whole episode about traveling. Maybe I'll save that for another day, but traveling has opened my mind and opened my eyes to seeing the world completely differently. I respect every culture, and I know that everybody has a different way of doing things. I got to play football here, which is actually pretty nice. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for every opportunity I have to move around, to travel. I know it's a very insecure country right now, and we're still praying for revival, for the move of God in Warri here, in Nigeria, in as a whole. So, yeah, that's where I am right now. Expect to see more interviews on this podcast. Expect to see more video content, because I'm trying to work with some guys to make things work. And yeah, there's a lot happening, guys. There's a lot going to happening soon, and I thank you guys for all being on the ride with me. Do you like that? So yeah, that's the Average African Kid podcast for today. Thank you all for tuning in, for listening to my voice, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.